Hey yo, it's your boy Los. Let's get it. All right, so as you can see, we are talking this afternoon about my guy, the Apologist. My bad, the Apologist, his latest album, Acolyte Remixes. Funny enough about the name, the title Acolyte, it stands for one who helps in ministry, right? Do you have one who helps in ministry. Um, and what I find about funny about that is the help one that helps in ministry is one to help further along the gospel, the message of Jesus Christ, the beauty and making sure that everything runs smoothly, right? What's funny about that is years back, when the time me and Will first actually met each other, I first started chopping it up via social media. I've always been a Christ-centric fan, right? And in that, I had made a comment on my page about the importance of Christian rappers being a part of, have a better way of evangelizing the gospel, right, to the lost, and being in the streets and getting in and so on and so forth. And I was talking back and forth with Thizzle in my comment section about his role and so on and so forth. It was a beautiful, powerful conversation. In the midst of that, my man Will jumps in and he says, and I had made a comment about Christ-centric being universal, meaning they get busy in the streets as well as in the church. And Will was very clear. He said, no. Christ-centric is primarily for the church. Christ-centric's viewpoint is primarily to encourage the body, boast on the beauty of Christ, and help push the church along to be greater than who they are and what they're called to be in Christ. And I always remember Will saying that about the beauty of who Christ-centric is. So from that point to today, whenever I've heard a song from Christ-centric, an album from Christ-centric, I've always seen that in that light. Their mission, their plan is to beautify Christ and to help the church grow, right? Which is why this album here, to me, it was a no-brainer, because honestly, this album is really no different than any other Christ-centric album. That's not a bad thing. That's just saying basically this album does pretty much what Chris Jones said on his last album, still Christ-centric. It's still about the beauty of Christ. It's still about making him known. It's still about encouraging the body to be great in him, to seek after him, to want more of him. That's the beauty of Christ-centric, and that's all Christ-centric is about. And so this album here, although I love it, I have a love-hate relationship with this album, and I'll get to that in a second. Although I love who they are as a group and as people, there's no difference in who this album is, what this album speaks of, and who they are as a label, because they've always been how they are on this album here. All right. So now that we got that out the way, hopefully all that made sense. I'm gonna be honest with you, right? I have a love-hate relationship with this album. I love it for many reasons. One in particular is a Christ-centric album, so in my eyes, they can do no wrong. That's just me. I love it because all the songs bring back memories to when I first fell in love with Christ-centric and first became a huge fan of them guys. And so that's a beautiful thing. But my hatred, and the hatred is very, loose. Obviously there's no real hatred. But I guess I'm gonna say dislike, is because the production has changed so much from the original that I think in my personal opinion, it kind of takes away the beauty of the original. The original to me, so for instance, okay, so the first song, City of God. Now, granted, I like the production and the sound of the City of God on the remix album. I like that because I think Timothy Brindle did a great job on the chorus as opposed to the young lady who sung on the original. And I think the production was pretty chill too on the remix. But there was something about the original, and it could have been just where I was mentally or spiritually when I first heard the original. I just was brand new to Christ-centric and everything, and just kind of fell in love with it, and I just kind of probably just stuck in my ways, and that could be a possibility, and that's cool. But yeah, I like the new version, just not as much as the old version. And then right after that, this is where my as they say, my blood started to boil when it comes to this remix album, because the next song is called Of the Father. Now, and then down the album it goes the Son, and then down the album it goes Spirit. Now, for those who don't know, on Didactic, I probably said that wrong, but Didactic Music Volume 1, there's a song called Trinity, right? There's two versions actually on that album. There's the original version, then there's a remix version. The original version, it has, I always forget my man's name, but he's the one who did on this album as well. He rapped about the Father, and then Will did about the Son, yep, and then Evangelist did about the Holy Spirit. And just phenomenal, right? Just a dope inspection or dope understanding of the three characteristics of one God, right? Beautiful, beautiful song, love it. But it was pretty creative. So Triple E did kind of the same thing on his first album, If They Only Knew. He did 3 different songs, produced all by Mac DeDoulos, 3 different songs on that album, which actually could have just been one song, but he tried to separate it, just to spread the album out some more, and it was dope. And Will did the same thing on this here. He took all 3 verses, made them individual songs, simply to, I don't know the reason why, but for me, it just stretched the album out. Let me get to my point. So on the original, the production on that was just cool, man. I just really enjoyed it. This here just didn't have that same oomph to it, right? And especially when you think about the remix on the original album. The two last songs. One was Acts, and then the other one was Trinity. That remix was so dope. While each artist had their own beat, you know what I'm saying, to go with it and go with their verse, and it was just, they killed it, man. I loved it, especially when Evangel came at the end, though, right? Just where that beat comes in, then dun, 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 dun. Just dope, man. I was just a big fan of that. This here just wasn't really feeling it, man. I just felt like it was just too laid back, too chill, right? Then you go through the album. There's a beautiful song with Will and Evangel together. They killed it. Kurt Kennedy's on this album. There's a song called man, I'm so sorry. I'll put it right here. I had it. I forgot it. So sorry. But it's Doctrinal Freestyle. If I mess it up, it'll be right here. But now I'm mad because I can't remember it. But basically, come on, man, get over it. There you go. All right. But basically, you have, pretty much Christ-centric, right? All 6 members killing it. You got the guy who I keep forgetting his name. You got Carlos. You got Evangel. You got Strat. You got Chris Jones. You got somebody else. Can't remember. I'll remember later though. When I say Result, probably Result. But anyways, you got these cats and they just killing it on this beat. That beat is so dope, man. And here's the thing about it, right? I felt like the producer, I think it was Will who produced that. If not, I'm sorry, but whoever produced that original original beat for that song, I felt like he or she, whoever, just really took their time to just match it up with each artist, and it was just a beautiful marriage, right? I felt like on this remix here, so the first 3 artists was on, one song, and then he did the last 3 artists on another song later on in the album. And I just felt like it was not forced. Yes, it was forced. That's what I felt, because Result's verse, if you know Result, his voice is kind of high, kind of fast with it and everything. Very creative dude. His voice on this album here just seemed, he had to slow his voice down a little bit, and that seemed to take away from the album. You know what I'm saying? It took away. I'm sorry, from the verse. It just didn't sound like it should have sounded, right? The lyrics are still there, so the truth is still being spoken. So you can't get past that, and it's just a beautiful overall. But I loved it because it made me go back and think and fall even deeper in love with Christ-centric. I just didn't like some of the production choices though. But it's funny, right? Because there's a label called Hidden Beach Productions Records. Sorry, Hidden Beach Records. And they do something beautiful. I love jazz. Not sure how y'all feel about it, but I love me some jazz. And they jazz out some of your favorite hip hop songs. From Outkast is So Fresh and So Clean They did a beautiful job with that. Eminem Stan, LL Cool J Lounging, Biggie One More Chance. Just they just go down the line and they kind of jazz it out. And then some of them was dope, and some were a miss. And I kind of felt like that on this here. I kind of felt like Will kind of jazzed, or not jazzed, but just smoothed everything out, right? And I think he did a good job on it. I prefer the original as opposed to now. But it's funny, right? So as you see, this is like 2 days later from the first video I did to right now. So I went back here to the album again, and I just realized something. This is the transformation of Will, right? And I like it. Because my man is about to get married. And something happens to a man when he finds that one, that beautiful one. It just does something to you, man. And you kind of want to chill out a little bit more. You want to kind of relax a little bit, right? You don't want to be that rowdy guy you once were. When you find that one and she kind of just, gives you that look, and you're like, I'm going to chill out for a little bit, man. And so this album to me is two things, right? First, I think it's just Will's transformation, man. He just, not that he didn't like produce for Thizzle, or up rowdy type joint, but this is just more of a laid back, need a cigar, maybe get a little hat to the side, give me a vest, something like that, and just chill in the room, right? This is that, as opposed to the Will that in production I'm accustomed to. And I'm not mad at that, I'm not mad. I'm just mad that he chose these songs here. But overall, I'm not mad at that. I also think, and this is just me, mass speculation, I feel as if there is a Evangel album in the works. I say that because Will has thrown Evangel on a bunch of stuff as of late, bunch of albums as of late, and I feel like it's one of those clean out the closet type ordeals before you hit the people with the masses, hit the masses with the heat. And I feel like Evangel about to come through and destroy the game. Well, I'm telling you, because I love me some Evangel. He the GOAT. But overall, at the end of the day, I definitely appreciate this album. I like this album. I'm just not a fan of it's weird, right? Let me take this back. And I'm not backtracking, but I want to clarify more. I enjoy the lyrics, obviously. And I enjoy the production, realistically. I just don't think it was a beautiful mix together. I don't. On Will's song about To the Sun, I kind of felt like he forced some of the bars. And Will's style is different altogether anyways, right? And that's not a bad thing. I think it's a dope style in its own way. But it's I just felt like he forced it. You know what I'm saying? Like he made it work on a couple bars, and it's kind of like, just get over this hump and we'll be okay. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. But yeah, I encourage you to get it. It's a beautiful transition from who Will was to who he is. I love it. Like I said, you meet that one, man, she do something to you, boy, I tell you. Wait till after he get married. Boy. After my man get married, his production gonna be just quiet. Oh, love that dude, man. But yeah, like I say, it's a dope album. I really do enjoy it. I just, got my own personal pet peeves about it. But I definitely encourage you, man. Go cop this album. Support the homies, man. Christ-centric, man. I went back and listened to Didactic music, and man, yo, they've been killing it for years. And this is another thing, right? If you think about this, these are all these songs here are old songs from like early 90s, early late 90s, right? Evangel has been killing it. I'm sorry, not early 90s, sorry, 2000s. Evangel has been killing it for this long, this well. Like, if you think about that, think about the songs that Will chose to put on this album, and if you look at his style, his wordplay is phenomenal. So his old stuff still holds up to some cats today. Come on, man. So yeah. Anyways, go cop the album. You'll love it. And let's get ready for this transformation. Love that dude, man. For real. I can't wait till after he gets married, bro. It's gonna be some things. Anyways, get the album. All right, y'all. Grace.